In this episode of American Food Wars, we look into one of the most comforting culinary rivalries ever toasted between two slices of bread, the grilled cheese versus the BLT. Two sandwiches, both humble, both legendary. One drips with molten cheese and buttery nostalgia. The other stacks layers of crisp bacon, juicy tomato, and cool lettuce into a perfect, crunchy symphony. But which of these sandwiches is more than just food? Which one is an icon, a symbol of American taste, resilience, and memory? We'll uncover how each sandwich rose from everyday kitchens to the spotlight of diners and delis, how war and industry shaped them, and why even today they stir emotion far beyond the plate. By the end, you might just discover that this battle isn't about lunch at all. It's about what America calls comfort. Welcome to True History in Minutes, where we uncover the fascinating stories behind the things you use every day. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. It directly supports our channel. Now, let's unwrap this delicious rivalry. The story of the grilled cheese begins not with a chef, but with a factory. It's the early 1920s. The Jazz Age hums in the distance, and a Chicago inventor named James L. Kraft has just patented a way to pasteurize cheese so it can travel long distances without spoiling. It's cheap, reliable, and, most importantly, meltable. Soon after, another innovation rocks America: sliced bread. In 1928, a machine invented by Otto Rohwedder makes pre-sliced loaves the new household miracle. Put those two breakthroughs together, and you've got a match made in culinary heaven. A few slices of Kraft cheese between two neat squares of Wonder Bread, a dab of butter, and a hot griddle. And the modern grilled cheese sandwich is born. But the grilled cheese didn't just fill stomachs, it filled a need for comfort during tough times. During the Great Depression, when money was scarce and spirits low, this simple sandwich became a small luxury people could still afford. It was golden, hot, and somehow tasted like hope. Cafeterias across America served them for pennies, and families made them in cast-iron pans, their edges sizzling in butter while radio static whispered swing tunes in the background. Then came World War II. The U.S. Navy, ever pragmatic, discovered that grilled cheese sandwiches, made with canned bread and processed cheese, were easy to mass-produce and high in protein. Sailors nicknamed them American cheese toasties, and soon the smell of grilled butter and cheese drifted through mess halls on ships around the world. After the war, veterans returned home with cravings not for exotic flavors, but for the simple meals that reminded them of stability. Diner menus answered the call, and soon the grilled cheese wasn't just food, it was nostalgia between two slices of bread. Meanwhile, another sandwich was about to make its own debut, the BLT. The BLT's ancestry stretches back to Victorian England, where delicate bacon and tomato tea sandwiches were a sign of refinement. But when this idea crossed the Atlantic, America gave it a blue-collar upgrade. In early 1900s cookbooks, you can find recipes for the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, but it remained relatively obscure until technology changed everything again. The rise of refrigeration in the 1940s meant lettuce could stay crisp longer, and the trucking boom of the 1950s brought fresh tomatoes from southern states year-round. For the first time, Americans could make a summer sandwich any time of year. And as supermarkets spread and post-war optimism bloomed, the BLT became a symbol of freshness and prosperity. Bacon, once rationed during the war, was back with a vengeance, thick, smoky, and indulgent. Lettuce represented new abundance. Tomatoes, bright red and juicy, symbolized health, sunshine, and the good life. It was the flavor of the American dream, crisp, colorful, and uncomplicated. While the grilled cheese comforted the nation in its hardships, the BLT celebrated its confidence in better days ahead. By the 1960s, the battle lines were clear. The grilled cheese became the king of cafeterias. School lunch trays everywhere paired it with a bowl of tomato soup, a combination that might have begun out of practicality, but soon became legendary. Scientists discovered that the acidity of tomatoes balanced the richness of cheese perfectly. And parents found a bonus. Kids actually finished their lunch. Meanwhile, the BLT took over the diners. Waitresses could assemble one in under a minute, and it offered something the grilled cheese couldn't: texture. Crunchy, cold, and salty, all in one bite. And somewhere between those sizzling pans and chrome countertops, the grilled cheese versus BLT rivalry quietly became part of American identity. It wasn't a feud of chefs or restaurants. It was a debate that played out in kitchens and lunch counters across the country. But beneath the butter and bacon lies a deeper story: how food tells us who we are. The grilled cheese is the ultimate comfort food. It's the rainy day sandwich, the after-school snack, the meal that asks for nothing more than a napkin and maybe a hug. Its power lies in memory. Every family has a version. Maybe you used white bread, maybe sourdough, maybe you added ham or nothing at all. The grilled cheese doesn't judge. It just melts. The BLT, though, it's a celebration of balance, a careful dance of flavor and texture. Too much mayo and it collapses. Too little tomato and it feels hollow. Get it right, though, and it's perfection in 5 bites. And here's a twist. Even their initials tell their story. BLT sounds crisp, efficient, almost modern, like a product of the 20th century. Grilled cheese feels slower, warmer, like something your grandmother whispered instead of advertised. Both sandwiches have been reinvented countless times. In high-end restaurants, chefs now serve deconstructed BLTs with candied bacon and microgreens or 5-cheese melts that stretch like golden silk. Food trucks stuff grilled cheese with short ribs, mac and cheese, or jalapenos. Yet even with all the trends, both sandwiches remain stubbornly simple at heart. You don't need training or special tools, just bread, a skillet, and a little patience. That's why they endure. They represent something timeless, the American belief that comfort and creativity can live side by side. So which one is truly more iconic? If you measure it by comfort, the grilled cheese wins by a landslide. It's therapy on a plate, the kind of food that feels like a warm blanket. But if you measure it by cultural influence, versatility, and that irresistible crunch, the BLT might just edge ahead. It embodies the post-war boom, the rise of the diner, the age of the drive-thru, and the idea that fresh and fast could coexist. And maybe that's the real secret. Each sandwich rules its own emotional empire. The grilled cheese rules your heart. The BLT rules your appetite. Together, they tell a story of a nation that finds joy in simplicity and identity in flavor. So, grilled cheese or BLT? Which one has your heart and your hunger? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, tell us what food face-off you want next. Thanks for watching True History in Minutes, and we'll see you in the next episode of American Food Wars.